Good morning, everyone. I'd like to welcome us this morning to our employability webinar. A guest with us this morning, and he'll be taking the session for. I'd like to take his bio. I'd like to invite our director, American Corner Abuja, Rosemary, to take his bio.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much, Mrs. Josephine. I'd like to introduce our amiable guest today, Mr. Adejoro Olumofin. Is a Nigerian relationship psychologist and author, founder of the tech dating app called Dazzle Dating. Mr. Joro holds a master's degree in industrial psychology and is widely known as the Love Doctor across all social media platforms. Joro is the creator of the popular matchmaking community, Bay Search, which has helped over 400 Nigerian couples meet and get married. With over 1 million followers across all social media platforms, he shares insights on relationships, psychology, and modern dating culture. Through his digital platform, books, and speaking engagements, Mr. Joro educates young people on relationship, personal growth, and how to leverage social media for influence, business, and community building. So we are so glad to have Mr. Joro here today to really explain everything about social media and monetizing social media. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Rosemary. So, Joro, I don't know, maybe you have something to add to what she has said before you dive into the topic for this morning.
I just want to say I'm very happy to be working with the US consulate, and they have shown a lot of support for me along the way, and they're always interested in helping bright young Nigerians. I remember I attended a US consulate event where an influencer complained about not being able to pay or receive payments with his Nigerian card. And a few months later, I saw that that had been resolved. I don't know how it was resolved, but because I heard that conversation, I believe that someone from the consulate reached out and solved that particular problem. So I'm very happy to be here today and a part of this beautiful event.
Okay, so we are diving straight into our topic for today, which is monetizing social media with leading American platforms. So, we'd like you to tell us how you came about monetizing your social media platforms and
Okay. Okay.
the journey so far and what you've been able to make out of it.
Okay, first of all, I built my platform based on something I was passionate about, and I am passionate about. For those that are listening, if you want to build your social media platform or you want to start a journey, you have to pick something that you are passionate about because the road is not always going to be smooth. Because if you pick something you're not passionate about, when trolling or negativity online or bad comments online starts, you can easily drop your calling or drop what you are working on. So you must first find your niche, something that you love, something that you are interested in, and be passionate about it and create very beautiful content. And I studied BSc, like I have a BSc and MSc in psychology and PhD in view. So that's just always pushed me in the line of helping people, listening to their relationship stories. And I never thought that Nigerians would be open to sharing their personal stories of their marriages, their work, their husbands. My wife did this. So you just have to take a chance and just take the chance.
Okay. So you are speaking to a lot of young Nigerians in 30 spaces all over the nation. So for a young Nigerian who wants to start making money from social media but has no large following yet, where should they start from?
Okay, I have four things that they need to, four rules or four guidelines, four blueprints that they need to follow or stick to. Number one, like I said earlier, you need to pick something. You can't do everything. You need to pick something, one thing. If it's food content you want to do, you need to pick food content. I've seen some people who dress up their dogs and wear ashwebi and fila and gele for their dogs. And that just puts a smile on people's faces because people are going through a lot every day. This Nigerian heat is a lot and the stress is a lot. So when you just go through your timeline and you see a puppy wearing gele, you just laugh. So you need to pick something that you are interested in, food, dancing, even if you are telling the weather and you are dancing and you are dressing a certain type of way, you would get attention, you would get followership. So that's number one. You need to pick a niche. Number two, you need to be consistent and creative. In the social media space, consistency is more than talent. If you are consistent and you dedicate your time and you post every other day, somebody is going to see your post and repost it and comment. And the algorithm is going to push that content for you and is going to gain traction and move on. So number one is pick a niche. Number two is be consistent and creative. Number three, once you've done that, you have to keep your audience. You can do small giveaways like 1,000 naira credits, 2,000 naira credits. In my own case, I used to give out credit and I used to do fan appreciation posts. I would just pick 5 people a day who I love their comments and I would just appreciate them, which made more people want to comment. So you have to, once you've gotten the audience, you have to keep them there. You do giveaways, you appreciate them, you interact with them, you ask them to tell their own stories. I remember I did a competition. So if you are a cooking content creator, a dancing content creator, you can ask your audience, even if it's 500 followers, 200 followers, to do a competition with an incentive to win, obviously. Then the last thing is don't care about negativity because social media these days, everyone knows that it is filled with negativity. If you allow small insults, small trolling to get to you with some accounts with fake pages, you are not going to go far. It's going to discourage you. So you have to have a very thick skin. As they are saying it, you should come out of this ear and go out of the other ear. Don't listen to what anybody has to say because you have your goal and where you want to get to. So I don't know if I need to repeat it again, for if some people are taking the notes down. Number one, pick your niche. It's something you're passionate about. Number two, be consistent and creative. Consistency in this space beats talent. Number three, keep your audience, giveaways, interaction, make them feel heard. Number four is don't care about negativity. So those are the main things that you need to go by if you want to be in this space.
Okay. So I'd like to ask the platform selection. Which social media platforms currently offer the best monetization opportunities for Nigerians, and why do you think so?
Okay, for Nigerians, American platforms that Nigerians can use, you can use Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube, and X, formerly known as Twitter. So, like people know all these platforms, but there are three major ways, if you want to write that down as well, to make money on social media. Three major ways. Number one is you selling your own products, you selling something that you believe that your audience and your listeners may need. Number two is brand endorsements. Like I've worked with Coca-Cola, I've worked with Indomie, I've worked with Zenith Bank, I've worked with Cold Stone. So these brands, if they see that people are listening to you and you have an engagement, they would offer you. And number three is the US platforms themselves paying you based on your um based on your traction. I believe when you have more than 10,000 views on Facebook, you are now like entitled, or you are now on the discussion on the table to at least start getting some monetary incentives. So Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube, and X, those are the popular platforms that are easy for Nigerians to access without any restrictions. You can download them on iOS, on Android, any network, you can use them, and you just need to have brands in mind. For example, I've sold cosmetics products for children. People came to my page to read stories, but I was selling cosmetics products for children, hair cream for women, beard cream for men. And you just see comments like, I'm not interested in stories today. I just want to um I just want to buy your product. So number one, you can make money through brands, and a key, you have to be trusted. People have to trust you. Once you do a giveaway, give it to the winner. Once, you have to be trusted for brands to want to deal with you, because they would have meetings and they will discuss with you and they will discuss about you, and they will say, is this person worthy of us doing business with or giving money? And your own products too. It doesn't have to be what exactly you're doing. Like I said, it can be outside your niche, but if they trust you for dancing and you are selling food, they will buy it. They'll say, oh, that lady that dances on TikTok, she sells, man, that jollof rice is so sweet. Oh. They'll patronize you. So that's that.
Okay, so I didn't get the third one because I'm also taking notes right here. So you
Okay.
said selling your product, brand
Yes.
endorsement. Then the
Yes.
third one was what? I
The
didn't get
third
that.
one is the social media platforms paying you directly when you have a large following. And
Okay,
and that
okay,
doesn't really come immediately, because sometimes you may need to have 10,000, 15,000, 20,000 followers before you can be entitled to such. Snapchat
okay,
pays people now. Facebook pays people. YouTube obviously pays people.
okay. So there's one question that I want to ask you. Some Nigerians they complain to get the this payment is difficult because they are Nigerians. So how have you been able to navigate this order of
Okay,
payments?
Okay, so you have, there are some banks that are friendly to international payments. Like, I know personally of Providus Bank and GTB. They are
Okay,
friendly to international payments because, for example, on my dating platform, people who want to pay from the US can use the Nigerian account through GTB and Providus. So you if you want to go into this line of work, you can go in, like you can do some more research and find out the banks that are international payment friendly. But for certain, Providus Bank and GTB are friendly to international payments.
okay. That's brand endorsement for free.
Yeah.
Okay, so content, what type of content actually makes money today in your general view? Education, entertainment, lifestyle, tech, or what can you suggest? Because we have diverse young people on this platform, and your suggestion can be like a guide to them.
Okay. What I would suggest for the content should be dance and skits,
Mm,
because those put smile on people's faces, and it's just like you don't need to sit down and prepare yourself to watch a skit. You can be in the car, you can be in your office, you can be in the toilet, you can be on your bed. So if you can dance and if you can do a skit, you don't even have to be funny. You can be the producer of the skit, draw up an agreement, get a lawyer and draw up an agreement and have a team of like 4 or 5 people, and you guys change roles every time. I think that is really good. That's really moving, and that's really going to move for young people.
Okay. So, like being particular now, talking about the kind of content you create, I know a lot of intellectual work might have gone into it. So we
Yeah.
also have young people. We have spaces in university, and we have some of them right on this call that are watching. How can you turn your intellectual property to content? This might be a bit
Okay.
yeah, how can they turn some of their intellectual property into content on social media that can also pay them?
Okay, so that is very easy. You can, if you're a lawyer, you can pick a situation that is going on online in the community, and from your legal perspective, tell people how they would handle this, tell people
Okay.
their rights. Even if you're in year one, year two, year three law, you can tell people when police stop you, these are your rights. You can tell people
Mm,
how to handle situations, maybe if they go to a supermarket and they are being mistreated. You can do those type of content. Like I said, you can do content on the weather if you have a geography degree, for example, and make it fun and interesting. Maybe if it's raining today, you hold an umbrella and you crack a joke or you dance with your umbrella. That would keep people. Oh, I haven't checked the weather today. You can do traffic. You can use your Google map to find out how the traffic would be in your particular location, and just give things like that out. Or you can even join me in the relationship space as well. If you have a psychology background or you have a passion in giving and listening to people's relationship advice, the sky is limitless in this space, even when it comes to intellectual. So you can even give book reviews,
mm,
get some books, which is very good because the authors of those books would actually start paying you to give reviews on the books. Get books of prominent authors, read them, and summarize them to your audience and say, this book you should read on self-esteem. This book you should read if you want to
mm.
start a business. So it is limitless.
Now somebody is catching an idea.
Yes.
So many young people post regularly, but they don't grow. What are the key strategies for growing followers and engagement organically that you, in
Wow.
your experience, you've come to notice or
Well,
observed?
because to be honest, this space right now is, people, when I started, people didn't even regard the space. People were like, what is this? You're just wasting your time. But
Mm,
now everybody is in this space. So, like I said, you have to be consistent and creative, because it's not going to be easy. I've known people who started, and for the first 7 months, they were stuck on just 3,000 or just 4,000
mm,
followers. Imagine being stuck on 3,000 followers for 7 months and you've been posting and trying, but you just have to be consistent, creative, be aware of the current trends that are happening, and,
mm,
jump on those trends and give your take on those trends. Because if a particular trend is happening, okay, for example, now there have been videos on the heat, there's like a heat wave in Nigeria currently. If you
mm.
jump on that trend and you do something creative, maybe every morning you say, I pity people where they wear sweater today, people will just laugh. So you have to be consistent and creative because everybody is in this space right now. Like when I started about 10 years ago, nobody was in this space. It was very scanty. So where a lot of people are, you have to be very patient because ideas are moving against ideas. So you have to be patient and
Mm.
consistent.
Yeah, so I have a follow-up question from Enugu window on America. They dropped a question on the chat. They said, "What mistakes kill audience growth early?"
What mistakes? Some people who are not genuine and who are not honest. Like I said earlier, I know someone who was moving on a very, very fast track and she promised a giveaway. For example, she promised to give people shoes, brand new shoes for a giveaway. And she had a lot of participation and she never did. She never gave out those things that she promised. So you must be a man or a woman of your word. When you say you do something, you do it. You must also give facts. Like I said, you must like develop trust. You can't give information that is not true or say things that are not factual. Because if you are doing videos and you didn't do your research and you don't have facts, people will say, "Oh, I don't watch that person's videos. I don't listen to that person's content. That person is just giving content that is not genuine." So what you put out there must be genuine and authentic.
Great. So our audience, they cannot wait for their question time. So I have another question from Oka window on America. Says, what causes the number of followers to be static for a long time?
Wow. What causes the followers to be static?
You can speak
Uh,
from your experience. Maybe you've had an experience like that.
Yeah, yeah, that's why I said wow, because there was a time I was stuck on 500,000 followers for I think a year. I was stuck on 500,000 followers for a year. It just moves with and I am honest. A lot of people, which I think people shouldn't do, like the previous question, don't buy followers, don't buy fake followers. Because if you
Hmm.
buy followers, they are always going to reduce, which shows that you are not authentic. Whatever followership you have, leave it the way it is. So I was stuck on 500,000 followers for a year, and people were telling me, buy followers now, you're stuck on this for a while. I didn't buy because I feel maybe the content I was putting out at that particular time wasn't really resonating with people. So after that time, I started doing challenges. I started a foundation. I started
Hmm.
going to schools, doing something outside the box. Because people listen to my stories every day. It's basically my husband did this, my wife did this. So after a while, maybe they just got so habituated to it and they just got so, tired. So you need to branch out a bit, do something different and creative. You must be working 24/7 to make your stuff creative and fresh.
So somebody is asking from Enugu, what are the requirements for YouTube monetization?
Like I said earlier, there are three ways for monetization, and you shouldn't get stuck on only one way. You can sell your own products, which is also a very big way. The product may not even belong to you. It may belong to your mom. It may belong to your sister. As long as you believe in that product, you can sell it on your space. And people always think you need to have 1 million followers, 2 million followers. No, 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 no. You can have 20,000, 15,000, even 5,000 followers and make a lot of money. For example, if 1,000 people buy a product that you are selling for 5,000 naira, that's very good money. So selling your own products is one. Two is brand endorsements and partnership. Brands don't also always partner with you if you have millions of followers as well. You don't need to have millions of followers for brands to partner with you. You must be authentic, you must be
Mhm.
true to yourself, and your content must resonate with so many people in your community and even within a particular age bracket. And also, the platforms themselves, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, they have their requirements for monetization. Maybe after you get 15,000 followers, after you get 20,000 followers. So you need to work consistently to reach each platform's requirement. You should have every platform's requirements and their benchmark to get there. So you can because in this job you need to always be researching, always use
Mhm.
Google, ChatGPT. You must always research to find out. Okay, TikTok, Facebook requires me to use to get 15,000 followers. So you need to work towards that, and it's not easy. Imagine trying to get to 15,000 followers and you need to post. For example, I like before I started monetizing anything at all, I posted for about 4 or 5 years for free. Everything I was doing was for
Mm.
free. So you must be willing to work for free. Like this is off script, but I have a friend who was unemployed in the 9 to 5 space. And you know what my friend did? This was years ago. He was unemployed and he walked into the head office of a bank in Marina. He walked into the head office of a bank and with his CV and he said, I want to work and I'm going to work for free.
Mm.
I don't want salary. I just don't want to stay in my house. I want to come here. I want to work
Mm.
for free. If you guys can give me transport money, I will be happy. And can you imagine they asked him to come in less than 4 or 5 months, they gave him a contract letter as a contract staff. It started from there. He has been with that company now for almost 20 something years now. He has been with that company for
Mm.
almost 20. So you must be willing to work for free because people join social media and they want to make money tomorrow. No, 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 no. Because now you have competition from Lagos, from Ibadan, from all over the world, from Ghana. So you need to be patient. I was posting my B search platform has recorded 400 successful marriages. Can you imagine that?
Mm.
I'm just walking on the road and someone just comes to meet me and the person says, oh, I met my wife on your platform. My brother met his wife on your platform. Even somebody even named their child after me. That was, yeah, that was a very
Fantastic.
emotional
Mm.
moment for me. But I was posting all that for free for about 5 years. Then after a while, I'm like, okay, this thing now has value enough for me to charge people. And I decided to start adding monetary fees to it. So that's just the story of social media. You must be consistent and you must be diverse because as you are doing that thing for free, you must eat now. So you must have something else that you are doing till this blows up. And the joy of having a social media platform is that you have a freedom to do anything you want to do. You can wake up at any time as long as you've done your target content. You can do other businesses, you can travel. So you have a freedom. So you have to be very patient.
Yeah. Thank you very much. So, how regularly should one post on your social media platform?
It depends on what you are doing. For example, if you are doing a skits sometimes take about 2 3 days or a week to develop a script, to act it out, to get videographers. You can post 2 3 times a month. If you are giving book reviews, it depends on what you are into. I, for example, sometimes I mean, I don't post in a day, but some days when I post, I can post up to 10 15 relationship stories. It's just based on your audience. After a while, you are going to know what your audience wants and how often they want you to post. But obviously, you need to post quite frequently, because when you are not posting, other people are posting as well in your same space. So you need to post. Like I said, you need to do a research, find out everybody in your space, those that have done it before you, mimic what they are doing, what has worked for them. Even look at those that are coming behind and look at what they are doing and how you can make yourself better. So from how those people are posting, you can decide on how many times you want to post.
Hmm. All right. So very soon we are going to open up the program to our audience to ask their questions. Before I ask them to do so, let me ask, how long should a young person realistically expect to work on social media before they start making money? Although you
Wow.
mentioned yours was 4 to 5 years, but like
Yes.
we are an Indomie generation. Nobody wants to wait forever.
No,
Everybody
you
wants
will say
things
that.
to get done fast, fast. So what's the time frame that you think is reasonable or realistic?
I well, I think mine, because maybe I was like part of the like first people who started. Maybe it took a bit more time and people weren't really used to it. But right now, you should give yourself 6 months to 2 years to be realistic, and have an open mind. Like I said, be passionate about it. It must be something you like doing, because your data is your data, right? And you are using, if okay, for example, you are using your data to look at other people's things. Why can't you use that same data to create your own? You can
Hmm.
use that same data to create yours and post yours. So I'm saying between 6 months to 2 years, should be good. Like 6 months to 2 years. Like I said, as you are posting your stuff, you just post and say, I have my mom is making this beautiful jollof rice. So if you live in so area, I'm
Hmm.
making this nice zobo. I sell power banks. I have a cousin in China who sells power banks. Just keep on trying, and some people want to wait for Facebook or Instagram or YouTube to pay them. You don't have to wait for Instagram or Facebook to pay you directly, because like I said, you need to research the amount of followers you need to have before they can pay you, because some of them do. If you have a certain amount of plays, so you could sell based on what you have. So don't put yourself under pressure. Don't put yourself under pressure. I remember a challenge that was going on one time, and a lady was challenging herself to finish, I think, 3, 4 cartons of Sprite, and she landed in the hospital because she wanted to trend.
Wow.
She drank 3, 4 cartons of Sprites, because she wanted to trend. So what are you gaining if you get the trending, people are watching, and you land in the hospital and you don't get to enjoy it? So take your time. Like I said, 6 to 2 years is good for something you're
Okay.
passionate about.
Okay. I don't know if you will have the answer to this question. Somebody is asking from American Corner Calabar that Facebook only recently started allowing Nigerians living in Nigeria to monetize their content on their platform. Most foreign platforms, when they allow Nigerians living in Nigeria to participate, tend to block them from monetizing. What is your view on this?
Yes, like I said, I attended the US consulate event, and a lot of Nigerian influencers. This person even has 6 million followers, and he was frustrated because he has calculated the amount of money that he
Hmm.
can make if these restrictions don't apply to him. But sadly, the restriction does. And these are US companies with their policies. And I'm not really sure on why some companies have these policies or when they would lift them. But as I'll say, as a sharp guy, as a sharp girl, you walk around these restrictions and find your way for the ones that don't have these restrictions and you can apply. So, yes.
Okay. So we have another question from Oka. From your experience, what is the best time to post for optimal view?
The best time to post is early in the morning when people 6
Mhm.
6 a.m. to 7 a.m. Why? Because most 9 to 5 people, if they don't live close to their work, have left their house 5:30, 6 a.m. So on their way to work, in the bus, staff bus, if they are not driving, they are just on their phones looking at what's, the fresh things of that morning. And the
Mm.
best time is in the night as well, between 8:30 to 10. Some people don't check their phones when they get home. They now just want to go and check. So that is a very good time as well to post. Some people are just on their bed laughing and reading things and are getting updated. So 5:30 to 6 a.m., 8 p.m. to 10 p.m.
That's living in Lagos
Yes.
because of the traffic.
Yes.
Yeah. So Enugu eh, say is replying to every follower's comment very necessary. And how do you increase comments and shares on your platform? Does that add to, let me ask, does that add to your payment? I mean the money to the monetization, the
No,
comments and the shares.
no, 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 no. I think monetization is based on the amount of views
Okay.
you have. Yeah, companies and the social media companies are interested in views. And yes, replying your followers' comments is a good touch. It makes you, even if you reply and you reply, and you mention their names, it makes you feel like you know them and adds a personal touch. So yes, because after a while, I wish all of you the best. And because when you start getting 7,000 comments and 12,000 comments, that's not possible for you to reply everybody. So I wish all of you would get to that stage. But obviously, as you are starting, when you have 5, 10, 15 comments, you reply them when you can and you exchange ideas and you engage what their comments are about.
Okay. So at this point, before we come back to the chat box, I would like to take some live questions. So if you have a question in any of our spaces, you can raise your virtual hand so we can take it. So while we are waiting for the virtual hands, let me ask the question from Uyo Window on America. It says, what are the ways that one can apply to protect one's mental health while engaging actively on social media? And this touch on your professional advice. Yeah.
Yes, that's a very good question because, like I said earlier, don't pay attention to negativity because the negativity on social media is a lot. The negativity is a lot. You must know how to deal with that. Some people just derive joy in trying to kill your dreams. You should be aware of that. Some people came online that day to try to make somebody feel sad and to try to comment something negative. It's like they want to comment something savage so that other people can laugh. So how you protect yourself from that is you know your limits and you know sometimes how to give yourself space. Maybe you've posted 2, 3 weeks straight, you can give yourself 2 days break, 2 days off, and go and focus on things that would put you in a good mental space, so you know your limit and you have your goals. So, but people, as we all know, they have an agenda to put so many hurtful comments every day. So if you want to be in this space, you are basically going to be like a politician or a musician that gets attacked almost every single day. Someone would have something to say, and it's not always going to be positive. So you know when to take a 2-day, 3-day leave. It doesn't mean you are giving up. It just means you are going to have clarity in your mind and you are coming back stronger and more creative.
Oh, all right. Thank you. So I can sign on early this morning. So let me give them the privilege of asking the first live question. Sokoto, can you unmute and ask your question?
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Very
I can
well.
hear.
Can you hear me? Very well. Yeah. Based on your experience, how can someone come with a content idea? Because we can have this, you can have something you're passionate about, but the idea to keep on that consistency, maybe you are consistent, but how can you come with a content idea that people will love?
Yes, like I said, this job you must
Um,
basically
yes, like
be,
I said, this job you must be,
you must basically be a researcher. You are going to
you must
research
basically be a researcher.
you are going to be online and you are going to be researching different trends that are happening. You are going to go to Google, go to ChatGPT and say, I am in this field. Can you give me 15 ideas that I can work on? And based on your budget, based on your time, based on your schedule, you can develop those content based on that. You just have to find a way to be creative. And like I said, you should have 4 to 5 people that have been in that space you want to be in, because you can't be in every space. You can't be a cooking influencer, a dancer, you can't be everything at once. So there are people that you should be looking up to and you would see how they did this, and those should be your inspiration.
Okay. So we move to Uyo. Uyo, can you unmute and ask your question?
Ask you.
No, good morning, sir.
Good
Please,
morning.
ask that a person that is not used to the social media platform, it has a private life. By this winner, we have heard that how can the person engage in social media just as a beginner? Because the person is not used to social media, it's like a private life. How can the private person engage in social media? Second question.
Good morning, sir. I also want to ask if you could recommend some niches. There are some content that you produce that don't really get much views and much engagements. So what parts of content can we create that will get some engagements and some views?
Okay. For the first question, if you are not a social media person, I've seen people who are extremely shy, who don't even know how to face, who don't even know how to put the camera in front of them and do a video. They created an avatar with AI that speaks for them. It's not even their face, and they just use that avatar to discuss gossip and discuss news. So if, like I said, you know your strengths and your weaknesses. If maybe you're shy, you don't want to speak to the camera, you don't want people to know your identity, it can even be fun that way for you, having a platform and giving takes on different things, and people don't even know what you look like. You don't even have to do a video. You can even have like a news space where you just repost different news. There's someone who has a birthday platform. That platform is a birthday platform to wish actors, footballers, different people happy birthday with a nice message under it. And now everybody, if some people, you must wish me happy birthday because I must be there. So it is so creative. You don't need to put yourself under pressure. So then for the second question, ideas for, there are so many ideas. There are so many ideas. There's even the streaming now where people stream and just document their daily activities. You can have that. You can document. I know someone who is starting. Things have changed so much. I have a friend who is a lawyer. He's a lawyer and he's starting farming content. Farming. He's going to be documenting how farming is going to take place. And something you must know is this: for every idea, there is an audience for it, no matter what. There are some people for every idea, no matter how ridiculous it is, there is an audience. I don't know if you've seen this guy on the internet who just walks around the place and just puts a red carpet on the floor for people just to model on the red carpet. Can you imagine that? He just has a camera behind him and he's walking on the road. He just puts a red carpet. And like I said, people are stressed. People need a release. People just need to vent. People will just walk on the red carpet and it is so funny. You know, bystanders stop by to see a personal fashion runway show just on the road. Can you imagine that? So you must go into the internet and find ways to be so creative. And no idea, you know, before when I started, they would say, this idea is, this idea doesn't make sense. Every idea, as long as it is legal, as long as it's a legal idea and by legal in your state and in your country, in your state, every idea has an audience. Every idea.
All right. So we have American Central Abuja. Please unmute and ask your question.
Yeah, thank you. Good morning, the presenter. You really thrilled me this morning, and you opened my eyes to so many things I have been missing before now. I'm in the academic environment. I never thought that could be a money spinning stuff. And I've been giving this thing out for years for free. I can see now that I can actually better myself than depending on the paltry things they normally give every month as salary or whatever. So this time around, I think I'm going to use this your idea. The thing has really entered into me, and I'll bet you before 6 months, I will start making money like you. Because I have a lot of stuff, and I've been giving this thing free to people. People will call me, please, can you come and just make a small presentation? As I live here now, today, by 12 o'clock, I have somewhere I'm going to present. And after presentation, I just go. I don't even ask them about my fuel money, which I will use to drive my car to that place. And I will just be satisfied because I will just think, oh, I have given knowledge to people. I have shared knowledge, and I will just be satisfied. But now you have opened my eyes to know that I can actually uh, uh, make money from some of these things. And I want to tell you that honestly, I don't want to mention the areas, and they're very, very important areas to Nigerians. I don't want to mention it before somebody goes ahead of me to go ahead. So you will still see me in all these spaces. You will still see
Thank
me
you. I
because
wish you all the best.
honestly, I have been really giving it out to people free of charge. But now, even in the church, so many places, I have been giving it free of charge. But this time around, they have to pay. They have to pay. You
Thank you,
open
sir.
my eyes, money. Thank you.
You should thank the US government for
Yes,
bringing this program your way for free. You should
correct.
appreciate the US government. Thank
We
you
have
for
one
your
more question.
contribution,
Just
and we are looking forward to your handles. Okay, you have another one.
yes.
All right, go ahead.
Very quick one. Thank you very much, sir, for the knowledge sharing. So my concern is some of us, we struggle with multiple talents, gifts, ideas, and sometimes we just, round with these ideas because of maybe true experiences, life experiences, knowledge, maybe being very exposed at early age. So ideas just come like, okay, I want to get into that. And then somehow you are putting this and another one comes and then you see yourself again getting into another one. So in this, I'm just in that position where I'm asking, when you find yourself in this, time where you look at your multiple gifts, how do you manage that? How can you scale, put yourself together in a way that your ideas can be presentable? And also you can achieve from, not just being everywhere, but being somewhere.
Okay. I think it's like a team that has so many players. Sometimes it's not going to work out. It's good to have just one or two good players on a particular team. So I think you should focus on the idea, because the aim is to make money, right? Is to focus on the idea that you think is going to be financially beneficial to you. Because if you create a page for cooking, you create a page for dancing, you create a page for book review, you create a page for weather, you create a page for food tasting, it's not going to work. So you should find a way to create one. Then in time, that one is going to bring up the rest, because people would have trusted you in one. It's like when you are watching the trailer to a Hollywood movie and they tell you from the directors of what that movie trailer is trying to tell you is that the directors of this trailer you're watching directed some other great movies that you've probably seen before. So you must just focus on one and do that one very well, be passionate about it. I've even seen people, for somebody who asked a question from Enugu, I've seen people who do content on proverbs in their language. So you just sit down and you go and disturb your grandma or your uncle. You hold a bar and paper and you tell them, give me the deepest Igbo, Yoruba, Bayelsa proverbs. And like I said, for every idea, there's an audience. You just have a great Ijo following that would be following you to get those gems. And I must also state this, that now is the time for Nigerians to really go into this social media space, because the Nigerian brand is so good right now abroad. The Nigerian brand is really good, because before, when you travel out and you meet other people and you tell them they're Nigerian, they don't really know anything. Only thing we were known for was probably the Super Eagles. But now, when you tell them you're Nigerian, they want to know if you're Burna Boy's neighbor. They want to know if you've seen Whiskey before. This white Asian people, they'll say, "Oh, are you Whiskey's friend?" I'll say, because I'm Nigerian doesn't mean I'm Whiskey's friend. So those artists have set a good reputation for the Nigerian brand, that when you want to do something, when you put your things out there, they would listen. You see so many foreigners on the internet putting "my first time trying Eba," "my first time trying Amala," "my first time trying." So just different things. This is the time, because you don't need, the foundation has been set for you. So it is 6 months to 2 years now. If it is something very interesting, oh, this man drops the best Yoruba proverbs, and very soon a company will just reach out to you and say, "Can you help us advertise our food product in the middle of when you're talking about this proverb?" And now you've started adding another stream of income to your portfolio.
Thank you so much, Joro. We have totally run out of time, but I don't know if you can spare like 5 minutes before we tie this up. Somebody asked from Lekki, how frequently should you post for best results? How frequency, not timing now. Then
Okay.
another person asked from Uyo, as a student and a fashion designer, can you kindly advise how I can balance studies, being consistent, and making money from my fashion skill via social media? Then I think I saw another one. Somebody is asking, what is your greatest success stories and your major challenges? I think you can round off with that last question. Your greatest success stories and your major challenges.
Okay, I would answer the fashion designer and student first. The most important thing is to have your degree. That is very important. And the fashion as well is also very good, because the Nigerian fashion brand has blown out of proportion. That Meghan Markle came to Nigeria and she wore a dress by a Nigerian fashion designer, and that lady's website crashed from orders abroad. Her website crashed. She could not. I think Meghan Markle came in February. From February till December, she was booked. Because the Duchess wore her outfit. So you have to find a balance. Go for your classes in the morning, have your siesta, refresh your mind, have your fashion sketchbook. This social media job is a research job. You must be on every platform looking for dresses, ideas. And another thing I would mention, I wanted to say this: do not have shame. Send a DM to every influencer, every actress, everybody you feel would look good in your outfit. Send them a DM and with your design and say, "I want to make this outfit for you. I think you look beautiful in this outfit." If she wears it and she can tag you in an event and say "outfit by," you start getting orders, and you have a ripple effect and you start getting orders. So you have to find a way to balance, but obviously school comes first, but your fashion is also a very important gem. And look at yourself as a student of your fashion and find almost 15 fashion designers that are doing well, and look at how they did it, what they did, and just mesh everything into yours and turn it into your own. Then the question from Lekki about how consistent, I think I answered something like that earlier. Look for people in your space, look at how consistent they post and match theirs. It's like somebody is selling a product for 10,000 naira. I would advise you to sell yours for 9,700 so that they will say, oh, okay, this lady in this space posts more than other people. You post more, you reply them, you do comment appreciation. You screenshot a comment of somebody on your page and you post it on your page and say, oh my gosh, I love this person's comment. That would psychologically encourage other people to want to comment and participate on your page. And for the last question, I think the last question is the hurdles and
Your
challenges, right?
success, yeah, your greatest success stories and your major challenges.
I think like one of my greatest success stories, because I started with listening to people's stories and posting it, then I diversified into matchmaking, then I posted matchmaking for free for a very long time, is somebody, all the people that I've brought together, who have gotten married, who I've met on my platform. I think that's a very beautiful thing to have in Africa and in Nigeria. So I would say that's like one of my greatest success. Then challenges is, the negativity you must deal with. Like I said, your skin should be like a tire, should be very thick because people would try to derail you and bring you down. So you should just have your focus. For the fashion designer, people may say, this cloth not even fine, safe. This outfit is so ugly. It can be ugly to other people, but it is beautiful to you. I would just state this lastly. Balenciaga now are selling a yellow nylon bag for $1,000. Nylon. When you go and buy rice in Mama Put, that black nylon they give you that you put inside, the yellow of it, they are selling it for $1,000. So now that nylon is senseless to somebody, but there are people buying it. It is that yellow nylon is sold out in Paris, is sold out in Italy. So the challenges are the comments, the negativity. Some people will say, oh, maybe these things are fake, these things are not true, but you stick to what you want and you have your game plan and you tell yourself that I'm going to succeed.
Should I take that as your last word for today?
Yes, yes, you can.
With this, we have come to the end of this program. Joro, we like to really appreciate you for your time and for taking out, the tight schedule to come and speak to thousands of young people on our platform this morning. We really appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank
Yes,
you and
thank you for
thank you.
having me. Thank you. God bless you.
Yeah. Yeah. So I also want to thank all our directors, our participants for joining in our employability webinar this morning. Uh, so many things I've learned. I've written them down, and I also am thinking about to create a platform for that. And I know that we will all make something great out of this session after today. We also
Yes.
want to inform you that our programs will continue in the month of April. We want you to watch up on the third Friday of the month. Also, our Speak with a Diplomat comes up on the fourth Thursday in April, and another session of employability webinar is coming up the last Monday in April. Thank you and wishing everyone a great week. Bye for
Yes.
now.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.